As we agreed, today we will discuss about switch statements. You can see my screen. So this is the if-else condition. We're already done with it. Okay. So let's begin another topic, which is switch statement. Okay. Switch statement is pretty similar to if-else. It's all about conditions. Okay. We have some blocks of code and we check if we're going to execute it or not, depending on a specific condition. Okay. So switch condition in Java tests the equality of a variable against multiple values. Like here, if we have a variable and we want to check if it's equal to some multiple values. If it's equal to 5, we're going to execute something. If it's equal to 10, we will execute another block of code, and so on. So here, example, we have switch. This is the syntax, switch, keyword, and then double brackets, opening and closing. Okay, in between these brackets, we put our expression, like the variable that we're gonna check its value. Okay, it will be here inside these two ordinary brackets. After that, we will create our switch body with this opening curly bracket and closing curly bracket down here. Okay, here in between these two curly brackets, we will put our cases, like case and value 1. If this expression equal value 1, please do this code or execute this code, and then put break keyword. Again, we put another case if this expression equal value 2. If it's equal value 2, please execute this block of code. And at the end of our code, we put break keyword. And we can put as many cases as we want. And at the end, it's optional to give a default case. Like if all previous cases are false, okay, we can put a default case at the end, but it's optional. It's up to you to put a default case or not, okay? It's important for you to know that this expression accepts only specific data types. Like it don't work with all data types. It work only with byte, short, int, long, and string. It works with byte, work with short, integer, long, string, and that's it. It's not gonna work with other data types. Like this expression, which is probably a variable, okay? This variable should be from one of these data types, byte, short, int, long, string. Cannot be from other data types, okay? And you should maintain the same syntax you see now. The switch keyword and the brackets, in between the brackets, the expression that we're gonna check its value, and the switch body with the opening bracket, opening curly bracket, closing curly bracket. In between these two curly brackets, we put our cases, okay, with the case keyword, value that we're gonna check, the colon after the value, and at the end of our case, we put break keyword, okay? Some other notes that you should know about switch condition. Switch can have n number of cases, like you can have unlimited number of cases. In this example, we have 2 cases or 3 cases, but in real program, you can have 10 cases, 12 cases, 15 cases, whatever, okay? Case value must be of switch expression type. Like, for example, here this expression, let's assume the variable here in the expression is of the type long. So here, value 1 should be of the type long. Case 2, value 2 should be also of the type long, and so on. Okay. If it's a string, so all values in the cases must be string. I hope it's clear. Also, the case value must be constant. It doesn't allow variables. What does this means? Means that like I cannot replace this value 1 with another variable. Like I cannot say switch x. X is a variable, okay? Opening curly bracket case y. This is wrong. But I can say switch x case 5, for example, or case 6, case 7, case 8 should be a constant value, not a variable. Okay? And you will understand more when we have an example in the code. Yeah, duplicate values in cases are not allowed. Like here, value 1 cannot be equal to value 2. Like we cannot duplicate here the cases. Each case should have a unique value. Okay? Value 1 should be not equal to value 2. Also should not be equal to value 3 if we have value 3, and so on. And if a break statement is not found, it executes the next case. Like here in the syntax, we put case, value 1. After the colon, we put the code that we want to be executed if this condition is true. And at the end of the code, we put break keyword. If we missed putting this break keyword after executing our code, it will again go and check of the value 2, case 2. And again, it will execute case 2. Here's the code inside case 2, it will get executed. After case 2, if again here the break keyword is missed, again, it will execute the next case, and so on. So that's our notes about the switch case. Let's have a real example. Here I will create a new class. I will call it hard drive capacity. Here at the end of my opening curly bracket, I'll hit enter to go to a new line and then start putting my main function. Public, I put PU and I select public, static ST and static, void, main, two brackets, string, of args. Again, open curly brackets and new line. Okay, very good. Now I will create a simple program, okay, that receives from the user a value of his hard drive capacity. And then we will display to the user the total capacity of this hard drive, okay? Or the name of the capacity of the hard drive, okay? So here, for example, I will create string. Okay, and I call it capacity. And then I display a message to the user asking him to enter his capacity. So I will tell him, enter your hard disk capacity. Okay. So here capacity will be equal to, yeah, I forgot to define scanner.
Oh yeah, scanner.
Yeah, scanner SC equal new scanner, and in between brackets I pass system.in and the semicolon at the end. Now I can use this SC. Okay, dot next line. Okay. Assume that the user input will be only a shortcut, like only, for example, if you want to type megabytes, he will only put MB or KB or GB, whatever. Okay. So here I will check the value of this capacity. So here, this capacity variable is acting as my switch expression. So I will start here putting my switch case. Okay. And here in between these two brackets, I will put my expression. Expression is a variable that I'm gonna check its value. Okay. So here in this case, I will put capacity. Okay. Again, opening curly bracket and I hit new line. So here I have opening curly bracket and the closing curly bracket here. Okay, this is the closing one. Okay, and this is the opening one. In between here, I can put my code. This capacity, like example, of the values that can be entered by the user, you can enter KB, okay, which is kilobyte, okay, or you can enter MB, which is megabytes, or GB, or TB, terabyte. I can also get these values, okay, and display a better message to the user. Like instead of enter your hard disk capacity, I will tell him, please select your hard disk capacity. And then I put these choices to the user here. KB, MB, GB, TB, whatever. To let the user understand the type of input that we should put. Here, again, I put my switch case and expression. I will put case 1. Like case if the value is equal to KB, colon, here from line number 13, this is the code that will be executed if the value inside capacity is equal to KB. So here on line number 13, I will say, for example, system.out.print your capacity is kilobyte. Okay. This is the code that I want to execute if the value inside capacity is KB. And at the end, I should put break keyword. Okay. So case 1 is done. What about case 2? Again, I will put case string. All these values in the case should be string. Why should be string? Because the capacity, which is my expression here in the switch, okay, is of the type string here. Okay. So here the second case will be for MB value and colon. Watch the alignment here, like all cases here are aligned. Again, if the value is MB, I will put your capacity blah 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 is megabyte. Break. To save time, I will just copy, paste here, and we'll just change the values to GB, stands for gigabyte, and TB, which stands for terabyte. Okay. If I run this program like that, if I select KB, okay, hit enter, your capacity is kilobyte. Again, I run my program and I put GB, your capacity is gigabyte. What if, please select your hard disk capacity and I type Kodi. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen. Why?
The default.
Because all conditions here are false. I put here the value of Kodi inside capacity. And after I go to execute the switch, I check for the value KB, MB, GB, TB, and all of them are false. Okay. If I want to put a default case here, I can put like at the end, I can put a default case. Okay. And here default, I don't have to put here a value. It's wrong. Default doesn't take any value here because it will get executed only if all these cases are wrong. So here in default, I will say simply like invalid inputs. If I again run the program, please select your hard disk capacity and I put Kodi 101, for example. Okay, it gives me invalid input. Like my input should be MB, GB, TB, or KB. Okay. So what if I delete this break keywords? Like I will delete all these break keywords. What will happen? What will happen? What do you expect?
There'll be one here.
Like, watch our sequence. We have KB. One moment, bro. I will come back to you.
Okay.
I'm back, bro. Sorry for this interruption.
Okay.
So here I removed the break keyword and I have the sequence KB, MB, GB, TB. Okay, and I'm restarting my program. Please select hard disk capacity. And I will select my first option, which is here in case 1. I will put KB. Okay, KB, and I hit enter. Look, it printed your capacity is kilobyte. Okay, and again, because the break is missing, it printed your capacity is megabyte. And again, the break is missing. So we went to gigabyte, terabyte, and invalid inputs. Like it goes through the whole cases and execute the whole cases. Why? Because there is no here break keyword. Okay. But if I restart my program again, okay, and this time I will enter my third case value, which is GB. Like I will skip KB, MB, and I will enter GB. Okay, and I hit enter. I got your capacity is gigabyte, your capacity is terabyte, and invalid input. Do you understand what happened? Like
Yes, the
switch case, it doesn't check one by one from first to second to third. No. If this value exists in one of the cases, it will automatically jump to the case which is true. Like here, for example, it was GB. Okay, in our case, it was GB. So it didn't check for KB, it didn't check for MB. It will automatically jump to the correct case or to the case that is true, which is GB. It executed GB, but the break keyword is missing. So it again executes the TB, executes the default value. If I here I put the break point back, the break keyword, break, and here break, okay, and I run my program. I will select KB, which is the first option. KB. Here, it printed your capacity is kilobyte, your capacity is megabyte, your capacity is gigabyte, and stopped. Why? Here, KB.
No break.
KB is a true case or the correct case. Okay, so it automatically went to this case KB. It executed KB. No break, so executed MB. No break, executed GB. And in GB, there's a break. So here it is stopped. Okay. What if I will run again? Okay, I will put MB as my answer, which is my second option here in the code. Look, your capacity is megabyte, your capacity is gigabyte. Why? Because here the value of capacity is MB. So it skipped KB and automatically jumped to MB. Like it didn't even try to check for KB. No, it didn't waste time in KB. It totally jumped to MB. Executed MB. Your capacity is megabyte. But again, break is missing to continued execution GB. Your capacity is gigabyte. And found break. Okay, so our program stopped. I hope you understand.
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Okay, that is the biggest difference between switch case and if else. Like if else, it check for conditions one by one. Regardless if this condition is true or false, it keep checking this one, this one, this one, and vice versa. Okay?
Yeah.
But here in switch case, automatically jump to the case which is true. Like, for example, GB, MB, TB, whatever. Okay? I hope this is clear.
Yes, very.
Do you have any questions?
No, I'm